It's appalling that we're in a situation where the government has had 18 months to plan for this withdrawal, and we're now in a position where it's almost certain that we're going to be leaving people behind to whom we have pledged and promised support because they've done so much for our country. They've stood shoulder to shoulder with our military, with our humanitarian work, our embassy, our political work in Afghanistan, and they've put their lives on the line for our country. And we are now abandoning them. And that is just completely unacceptable. It's unforgivable that the government hasn't planned for this eventuality. It's had 18 months to do so.
I appreciate your view that you wouldn't have got us into this situation. We're now a week away from August 31st. There's going to be no extension to that, certainly not from the American perspective. What would you do differently now?
Well, I think we've got to explore all the avenues of the leverage that we have over the Taliban. And I think that's particularly in relation to the financial position. The Afghan government that preceded the Taliban was heavily reliant on money from the West, from the IMF and from other sources in the West. And that, I think, is an opportunity for us to exert that leverage and say, those who we need to get out of the country after the 31st of August must be given safe passage, even if that's safe passage through the country to refugee camps on the borders or other routes out of Afghanistan. And I think we also need to use that leverage to try to ensure that the Taliban don't conduct death squads, frankly, hunting down the people who have worked with the West. So we need to hear much more from the Prime Minister about how he intends to use that leverage. And I think that it's clear that we need to hear far more about the work that he's planning to do with the governments of those neighbouring countries to ensure that we have refugee camps set up that are humane and that are where people can be processed and where we've got the best possible options in terms of getting people out